What's up? It's Teddy, Caravan Film Crews. I know, it's like, dude, why are you always doing videos in your car? And that's because this is the only time I have, like, to do anything, you know, because every time I get to someplace, I have stuff I got to do there, so I really don't have time to shoot there. But, and if I don't get these out, then they'll never get out, so I got to do them now. But this is the Biz Dev channel, for those who don't know. It's tips, tricks, and hacks that'll help you build your videography and photography business. One thing I want to talk about today is collecting your fee up front. Man, I have projects from my earlier years. Actually, I have projects right now for present work I still got to get paid for, and I'm partially paid on these projects, but I have enough confidence in the client that I'm dealing with to where I think I'm pretty sure they're going to pay me. But I also have, you know, things I can implement in order to make sure I get paid, or at least stop them from using the footage I've given them because they're not paid up on it. And there's paperwork, there's a paper trail and a track record, communication, and all that kind of stuff that I can use in order to leverage them into paying me. And really, like, compared on how much money they've already spent on the project, money they owe me is not that much. So, you know, they should be able to pay it. But in your scenario, being a videographer or photographer who's just starting out, collect the money up front. I learned this from my man Lou at Timeless Studios. That's where I really got started doing video work. He picked me up even when I didn't have a camera, just had an editing machine that I had just recently beefed up. He worked with me with his clients to produce their videos, and I did all right for my, you know, for just being like fresh onto the scene. And as I got better, he was able to charge more, and he was able to book more stuff, and you know, that's how I got started. But Lou would not take like a half deposit now, other half later, or anything like that, man. He would strictly be, you know, cash up front for anything that we do. And the reason is because he was brokering a deal for me to get paid on. And so if he was going to take a client's word on doing work that or getting work done that I was going to do on basically Lou's behalf, then he wanted to make sure that all the money was present for me to get paid, you know, whenever it happened. And I learned that that's the best way to do it. And, you know, if you're going to gamble as a business owner, I know it's tempting to, like, you know, you finally get a client, or you've been working for 3-4 weeks to hustle up a client. Somebody finally decides to book you, and they're saying, well, do you take half down and half later? And you're like, you know what, yeah, we do, because I just want to get your money right now and do this gig. Even though you may have somebody working with you, I would suggest that if that's the case, as a business owner, as the person who owns the company, you know, as the person whose rep is on the line on either side, whether with your workers and feature shooters or your client and future clients, if you are going to take a half deposit or a quarter deposit or whatever, then that should be enough to pay the people on your team. You should at least have enough money to pay them. You always eat last. You always do, because you're the leader. You know, that's just it, period. That's how it should go. If you want to make sure that your team is willing to work with you on every job, if they're willing to, if you want them to be willing to put in the most effort that they can put in, they got to be sure that you have their best interest in mind. Okay? It's not about, there's no big I, little you type thing. It's actually a big everybody else, you know, your team and your client, and a little you. That's how it really is. All right? And so, you know, I suggest always getting paid up front on all your gigs, because things pop up, budgets change, and if anything, life happens to people, and you got to think like, okay, I'm a client and I'm hiring this video person to do a job, but life happened. Should I pay this guy who I really don't know, who is working on a video that I haven't seen, who I probably think is overcharging me for what they're doing anyway? No, I'm just going to spend it, and I'll just tell that guy that I'll pay him back later, or I'll have it at another time. Even if I don't get the video, it's better than not being able to handle life right now. And that's how people are going to look at it when they owe you money and they don't have the money to pay you. So, and I got projects that are sitting on my hard drive that people haven't paid me for. It's happening to me right now as we speak. And I got projects from years ago that people still haven't paid me for, and some of them I just kind of let go because, I just really didn't care after a while. But some other ones, man, I'm still holding on to them. You don't have access to those, bro. But you guys should always be charging your fee up front, and you let them know, like, look, I'm trusting. I'm already doing a lot of the work. I'm putting a lot of the work in. I'm doing the hours and everything. I want to make sure that I get paid, or my team gets paid, period. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. If they got the money, they should just pay it. They don't go to Walmart and say, hey, Walmart, can I just give you half now and half when I work this stuff, or if the food tastes good or whatever. Nobody does that, man. And look, I haven't had any problems with anybody paying up front. Some people have told me or asked me, could I just put half down? And my question to them is, why? Is there any particular reason why? And I want to put it on them, like, maybe you guys don't have the money, or what's going on? You just want to get me going on this project, and then you don't want to pay me later. It's kind of the tone I give, but that could very well be the case. And for some other people, they just say, hey, look, we're spending a lot of money right now, like on our wedding or something, or on this whole project, on some of the other things. I'll tell you what, I can put half down now, and then, the day of the shoot, I can give you the other half. I can live with that. You put half down now, reserve the date, we go out there, you give me the other half when we get there. I can totally live with that. That's cool. And, that's... Sorry, somebody's like honking their horn or whatever. Yeah, but in other scenarios, what you don't want to happen is, you really don't want a situation where you're holding footage hostage. You really don't want that, man. It's never a pleasant experience. But if it has to come to that, totally do it. And I just recently did that. I'm telling you guys not to get into that situation, but I just went into it. But I had to, because I was on a project with somebody who mismanaged funds throughout the project, and I really wasn't aware. And then I gave an ultimatum, and they tried to bogart me out of what was rightfully mine by contract. And I pushed back on them, and I told them, look, this is some other stuff I could do, to make sure I get paid. And you really don't want me going down that route. And so, they came to their senses and realized what they were doing was not righteous. And they decided that they were going to pay me, what they owed me, or what I was, what I was rightfully due for the project. But look, stuff like that happens, man. Especially if you're booking for a wedding. I know people do that half down, half later, or they want to see the product and then they'll pay you the other half. Nah, man, this is not how it goes over here. You need to get paid full up front, because you don't want to put in all the work and then they might not like the video, or they might just say that they don't like the video, and now they don't want to pay you the other half. No. If anybody is like dissatisfied with the video, like, man, if you really just hate the video and you can't stand it, I'll freaking redo it. We'll redo the whole thing. But that's why you have scripts and treatments and things that people, things that people can agree upon that you want, that they want in the video that they're booking you for. But in terms of a wedding, people overspend on weddings all the time. If you're getting booked for videography or photography, you need to be paid up front. And you also don't need to be, have like sour grapes at the wedding because some drunk cousin or uncle or whatever might want to mess with you or one of your team members. Man, you don't want that. You want to avoid that whole situation. And you do not want to be bothering a bride and groom for your payment on a wedding night. Like, dude, stay away from those kinds of situations. You got to insulate yourself from exposure to these kinds of liabilities. And these are situations you just don't want to find yourself in. You just don't. So, get your paper up front, man. Get paid up front. You deserve it. If your integrity is, intact and you keep your promise, you follow through with your word, you take pride in the reputation of your business, you deserve to get paid up front. Just like Walmart or Sears or Macy's or Home Depot or anybody else. Like, you deserve to get paid up front, man. And it's not a bad thing to do that. And I know it takes some courage to ask, but anytime you're negotiating at the moment where you're coming to the point of the sale, like, okay, we addressed your pain points. We are fully committed to providing the stuff that you're requesting. We are going to do a satisfactory job because you looked at our previous work and you like it. Okay, now we're at the point of, do you want to do this or not, man? Shit or get off the pot. That's it. You want to do this or you don't want to do this. Don't hem and haw with people. Tell them, hey, look, I need to know within the next 36 hours or by Friday. Just let me know if you want to do it or not, and we'll move forward. No problem, right? I'll give you guys that much time. That way That way you can have a solid idea on whether or not this person is serious. But get paid up front. Get paid up front, get paid up front, get paid up front. And if you're ever going to gamble, make sure that whoever is involved with the project is paid and you are just going to wait for your end. That's righteous, man. You got to do righteous business. I promise you. If you do righteous business, you may not be the best at what you do, but you're trying to get there, but you may not be the best. But people will still work with you because what the alternative is somebody who may do a good job but is very hard to communicate with, misses deadlines, gives back shoddy work or takes too long or whatever. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that can negatively impact the project other than quality. And that's not the person you are, hopefully, and you don't build your business that way. So people would much rather deal with you and take a hit on some quality to some degree, just based on doing righteous business. It's not about how many clients you get, it's how many clients you keep. It's how many clients are willing to refer you. It's how many clients are willing to give you great reviews, are willing to speak highly of you. That's the important thing when you're doing any kind of business. And, especially when you're starting out, man, you cannot afford to have a negative review. You cannot afford to have like a negative relationship with a client or anything like that. You need those referrals to come in. You need those reviews, if you can get them in paper or in video or whatever, or through an email or anything like that. But you're going to need that kind of stuff moving forward. So anyway, I know these videos get long, but there's like a lot to talk about on these topics, and I think they're topics that I know I was struggling with in the beginning, so I'm pretty sure there's other people out there struggling with them. Hopefully this was able to help you, and I hope you got some value out of it. Leave a comment or hit me up directly, call, email, text, like, subscribe, DM, tweet, whatever. All right, mention us in comment or tag us in a post or something like that. Follow us on all social media, Caravan Film Crews. Until next time, peace.